A slow bleed. That's what's happening right now across some of America's biggest states. Tens of thousands packing up, businesses closing their doors, budgets bleeding red ink, and yet we barely hear about it. What happens when the next recession isn't just a blip, but the final push over the edge? Which states are secretly hanging by a thread, and could they drag the rest of the country down with them? Stick around, the answer might just change the way you see the map. Recessions don't just punish Wall Street, they gut Main Street. They expose cracks no one wants to admit exist. Some states are already crumbling, struggling with exploding debts, job losses, and mass migrations. The scary part? Most people don't even know how close their home is to the edge. Today, we're walking into the 10 states most at risk of getting crushed by the next economic storm. As we go, ask yourself, could your state survive what's coming? The 10 most at-risk states. 1. California golden sunsets, Silicon Valley riches, movie magic. That's the California everyone sells you. But behind the Instagram filters, California's losing people faster than any other state, more than 239,000 last year alone. Skyrocketing housing costs, rising taxes, and a crumbling middle class are driving residents out in droves. And even with a multi-trillion-dollar economy, California's budget keeps swinging wildly between surplus and crisis. If another recession hits, what happens when the tax base isn't there to save them anymore? 2nd, Illinois. If there's a ticking time bomb in America's heartland, it's Illinois. For years, the state has been drowning under massive pension obligations, billions owed, with no realistic way to pay. Credit agencies have slapped Illinois with the worst rating in the country. Businesses are moving out, families are fleeing to cheaper states, and yet, politicians keep kicking the can down the road. In a real recession, there's no more road left. Does Illinois become the first state to truly default? 3. New York bright lights. Big city and a growing problem they can't escape. New York's population is shrinking fast. Over 120,000 people left in a single year, taking with them billions in income and taxes. And the city? It's facing record-high vacancies in office towers. Remote work didn't just change where people live, it shattered the foundation of New York's economic model. If another financial crisis comes, does the Empire State still stand tall or crumble from the inside out? 4. Nevada. What happens when the party stops? Nevada's economy lives and dies with tourism, casinos, and entertainment. But in 2024, Nevada already has the highest unemployment rate in the nation at 5.7%. When money gets tight, the first thing people cut is vacations. That spells disaster for a state that depends on visitors pouring cash into slot machines and hotel suites. If the economy turns south, can Nevada reinvent itself fast enough, or will it roll snake eyes? 5th, Michigan. They call Michigan the comeback kid. But even now, it's skating on thin ice. The auto industry, the state's lifeline, is facing serious headwinds, supply chain shocks, electric vehicle transitions, global slowdowns. Meanwhile, unemployment is creeping up to 5.5%, way above the national average. Michiganders know how to fight through hard times. But when manufacturing slows, entire towns collapse. Is Michigan's foundation strong enough to weather another Great Recession? Or are we about to watch another Motown meltdown? 6. Louisiana. Louisiana's soul is legendary jazz, food, culture you can't find anywhere else. But underneath the music, the state's economy is fragile. It leans heavily on oil and gas, industries that boom and bust like clockwork. In the last few years, Louisiana has been bleeding people, too young workers chasing opportunity elsewhere. In a global slowdown, oil demand sinks fast. Without a strong backup plan, how long can Louisiana keep dancing before the music stops? 7th, New Jersey. Wealthy, crowded, powerful, and sinking deeper into debt every year. New Jersey carries the second highest debt per person in America. It's already losing residents to cheaper, warmer states like Florida and Texas. And every time a taxpayer leaves, it punches another hole in the sinking ship. If the recession gets ugly, How does New Jersey balance rising costs with fewer shoulders left to carry the load? 8th, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania feels like two states stitched together, thriving cities like Philadelphia, and aging, shrinking towns scattered across the countryside. Manufacturing jobs have been leaving for decades. Now, an aging population is pulling at healthcare and pension systems. Growth is slowing. Opportunities are drying up. When a recession tightens the belt, does Pennsylvania have enough economic muscle left to pull through, or does it tear at the seams? 9th, Indiana. At first glance, Indiana looks stable, but dig a little deeper and cracks start showing. A new $2 billion budget shortfall opened up thanks to sluggish revenue forecasts. Indiana leans heavily on agriculture and manufacturing, two sectors that get hit hard when global demand falls. If another recession sets in, Indiana won't just have to balance a budget, it'll have to decide which essential services survive. What gets cut when the money dries up? 10th, Washington, D.C. America's capital feels untouchable, but even D.C. isn't immune. Right now, it has one of the highest unemployment rates in the country at 5.6%. And if political gridlock leads to budget cuts or shutdowns, thousands of government-dependent jobs could vanish overnight. D.C. thrives when government grows. But when austerity kicks in, what happens to the city built on bureaucracy? Economic indicators. Zooming out, the warning lights are flashing all over the map. The national unemployment rate just climbed to 4.2%, a clear sign that cracks are widening beneath the surface. And it's not just job losses. The job-finding rate has dropped, meaning people who lose their jobs are taking longer to find new ones, a major red flag before a downturn. State revenues are falling, projected to drop 6.2% this year and another 4.7% next year. For states already struggling, that's a brutal hit to schools, hospitals, and basic services. Meanwhile, domestic migration shows a clear pattern. People are fleeing high-tax, high-cost states and heading south or west. Texas, Florida, Arizona, they're booming. California, New York, Illinois, they're shrinking. In plain English, the strong are getting stronger, the weak are bleeding out, and the gap between them is only growing wider. Future scenarios. If the economy turns sharply down, and many economists believe it will, these 10 states face brutal choices. Service cuts, tax hikes, layoffs. Some might beg for federal bailouts. Residents could see collapsing infrastructure, overcrowded schools, disappearing hospitals. And it doesn't stop at state borders. A mass failure in states like California or Illinois could ripple through the national economy, dragging everyone down in a chain reaction. Are leaders ready to make the hard choices now? Or will they wait until there's nothing left to save? Some states are storm-proof. They built strong economies, saved money, prepared for rainy days. But others? They're already knee-deep in water, pretending the dam isn't about to break. The next recession won't just hurt Wall Street investors or corporate CEOs. It'll gut Main Street, small towns, and millions of everyday families. The question isn't just, will these states survive? It's, if they don't, what happens to the rest of us? If you found this eye-opening, make sure to comment below. We'd love to hear which state you think is most at risk. Share this video with someone who needs to see the bigger picture. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss important updates like this. There's a lot more truth coming your way. You won't want to miss it.